Uh, so I'm working with Selenium about last 6-7 years, and I have two people working under me. So for this is not the only company I'm working. Before I was working for another company, and I also here I built Selenium from scratch. And in my previous company, I was working in a project. So, and in my previous company, I was not a lead, so I worked on somebody else's code. But in this company, they had me, and Selenium was not there, so I built everything from scratch. So let me tell you what is the approach and what I saw in the professional field, what people do. So it's not only Selenium, Java, Selenium, whatever you do, you don't do anything from scratch, because nowadays everything, anything and everything you do is available in Google, and then you get the code from GitHub, or you get the code from anywhere, and then you reuse it, and you that will save you time, and then that will save you a lot of effort also, and then you understand and you make it work for your environment. So this is just one example. There are numerous. What I'm going to show you now is just one example. There are numerous examples like this. So in my when I started 6 years back in my company, I use this page. So I came here and then I like this example. And again, there are a lot of examples you would find. So I use this, I understood this example and I implemented everything from this code. And then I built something similar what this framework had. So this is a hybrid framework. So let me explain to you a little bit. So there are three types of framework. One is data driven, one is keyword driven, and if you combine data driven and keyword driven together, that becomes a hybrid framework. And I am going to run example for you, and then I was able to copy up my code for this framework from my Eclipse to the IntelliJ community version. I will show you in a bit. And then this page, actually, let me message you this page. This page not only give you code and everything, it also explains how to implement everything for you. So let me message you this page. Again, this is not the only one. There are hundreds of like pages, examples you will find similar to this. So so they use Excel to keep your user ID password, which I'm going to show you in a bit. And then and this is the design. So let me open IntelliJ now and then walk you through quickly what I will run everything for you, and then explain to you quickly how this works. So in IntelliJ, this is the keyword. This is the framework I copied from my Eclipse and created a project. Once we start Selenium, I will show you how to do everything. And then, so let me open IntelliJ. So I'll open the community version, which is this. And thank you again for letting me know, because IntelliJ is something I never used before. So the community version is free, and once you told me, it really helped. And this is also a lot faster than the paid one.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I was wondering why your processing was going so slow.
Yeah. So
I'm
thank you again.
very,
That helped a lot.
yeah,
Yeah. So I quickly looked at your code that you emailed me, and I
yeah.
see the different component a framework should have, a standard framework should have. Like in the professional field, I will explain to you what is missing in your framework and
Sure.
what is good to have.
Okay.
And the code between Eclipse and these really actually doesn't matter. It works on the fly.
hmm
Okay, so while this loads, we can come back here and explain a little bit. Okay, so
Yeah.
idea is to separate your different component of your Selenium project into different places, so it is more manageable and reusable. So so this design explains that. So it is ideally recommended that you put your user ID, your password, and the actions in a Excel file, which is called test case Excel, and you would have all your scenarios there. So let me open that Excel. So this is so there are two ways you can do this. One is the Excel example, another is CSV example. So I'll open the Excel example first.
Mhm.
So I actually took this code, and in my company, I won't be able to show you what I have in my company because that is illegal. Because I'm not allowed to share anything, but this is similar to what I'm going to show you now.
Yeah.
So, so I will show you first manually what this does. So let's say you have 100 scenarios, 100 test cases. So this is my first test case, and this is my second test case. And this is the
Mm.
keyword meaning action, what you are going to do. So first it is going to go to a URL. Second, it is going to set username. So that's why it is called set text. Then it is
Mhm.
going to again set text the password. Then it is going to click. So this column actually called keywords. What are the different action you are going to do? You are going to go to an URL. You are going to set a text, which is your username. You are going to set a text called password, and you are going to click to reset buttons. It will reset the functionalities. And then again, the second scenario, so this scenario is to reset user ID password, and the second scenario is to log into the application. Again, same thing. The only difference is you are logging in, and here you are logging, you are resetting.
Resetting. Mhm.
And this column is the value. So what user ID you have, what value you have, and again, same thing. So this is when you have user ID password in your Excel spreadsheet, that is called data driven, because this is the data. And when you have keyword, meaning what actions you are going to do on your test cases, that is called keyword. So when you have
Mm.
both together, that is called hybrid. So let's say uh, if I were having only the
I'm sorry, Mirza. I don't mean to interrupt you. What determines a hybrid?
so hybrid, so let's say I have only this column and I don't have value here. So then it will say keyword driven. And let's say I don't have keyword
Oh,
here, or only I don't have keyword and I only have a value, then it will say data driven. When I will have column
oh,
B and column E, then it will make it hybrid because I have both keyword and data.
keyword driven, data driven.
Right. So this page talks about that. What is a data driven, what is a keyword driven, and what is a hybrid. So these usually people go with hybrid nowadays because it's easier to understand that. Okay, so let's see if this. Okay, so now what I will do is I will log into the application manually. So source. So this is where my test case files are. This is where my operation files are. Today we are not going to deep dive into code because that would be when we will understand the basics of Selenium, then we'll get to that, but I will show you from the high level. So you see here, I'm going to open this file.
Yes.
Just double click. It is still not slower than Eclipse. Anyway, so I will log in. So I will, this is the URL. So
Yeah.
see, I'm, so they are putting the test cases and the user IDs and the action in Excel file, and they are putting the URL and different locators. So these are actually the locators. So this is username is so all these are located by object type name. So if you inspect it, all of them are, you can locate with ID, you can locate with XPath, you can locate with name. So these are all name object type. So see,
Mm.
we are putting what type of locators you are using. So all of them are actually name, which is coming again from here. This makes it so reusable. So let's say for some reason anything changes, you just go to this file and then update your locator here. So let me log into this first. Here I'll show you manually what this does. The test cases. So first test case is going to put the username like this, password, and it is going to click the reset button. That is my first test case here, which is this reset login. And then the second test case will again put the user ID, and it is going to put the password, and then it is going to log in. And this is the bank application, which is I'm going to show you. Uh, so these I have everything, all the examples and everything implemented as page object model, where
Are you
like
making
this.
an assertion?
Yeah, so this is POM implementation. This is not this project. This project only how you arrange and how, what are the different components you should have in your framework. But this is my life project. After learning everything, I have examples and everything implemented with page object model implementation, where this is a bank application. Like you can create a customer, you can delete a customer, you can create a bank account, checking,
Hmm.
saving, you can withdraw fund, you can deposit money, delete an account, all these things. And this is a very good example of a live project, and Guru 99 is their side. This is a test project. So I will log out. Now I will, we'll get back to this later, like how to implement POM. That's at the end, once you learn everything. Okay, so now I will run this and then show you what are the different thing it does. Okay,
Okay.
so I explained to you the test case. So if you have hundreds of test cases, you just go one by one and then add here. So that's how I implemented in my job. We have like around 100, test cases right now to test, to do smoke test, meaning like quickly check the login is working, the basic things are working, and I implemented similar what you see here, similar to this. Okay, so now I will run quickly and explain to you what this does. So this is the Excel example I'm going to run. Let me open it. Again, this is the test engine implementation. You know already what is the test annotation and all those. So basically
Yeah.
what this does, it goes, open this Excel, get all these thing, and then run. So let me run it.
Well, can I see your code?
Yeah, we'll get to the code once I explain to you what actually this does and what I have. So this will open a Firefox browser and
Hmm.
run these two scenarios. Again, this is not my code. Everything I got from that site, and I
Oh,
understood it and I updated it.
okay.
I
Oh,
don't
it's
write
very
any.
different now. The instructors are they're
I don't.
teaching us to do
So
scratch. So
in my last 7 years of, so I have total 8 years of Selenium experience. I never wrote code from scratch. Anything and everything I get it from Google, similar to this, and understand it, and then use it for my work and update it.
wow, that's good. I
And
I
I have seen other professionals do that also. That saves time, and that is also very effective, because when you start a
yeah,
job, you don't
yeah.
have a lot of time to play around and experiment. They will give
No,
you
no.
something and expect you to produce
Meet
work
the deadline.
in a days or 2 or 3 days, or
Yeah.
maybe max
Yeah.
1 week.
Based on the resources that we have accessible now, what would you say are the challenges when there's a deadline to be met?
uh, they usually give like a 1 week learning curve once you start a job,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
then the manager tells like for each assignment how much time you have, and how much uh, like they will assign you work and give you time, and you have to work accordingly. Okay, so
Mm.
now it will write user ID and password from that Excel file and then reset, and this is happening in the same browser. If you want to run everything in the same browser, then this example. And next example would be running in a separate browser, and I will tell you what kind of method I used for them. That is testng also method. I will tell you that. So now it is going to log in. So last example, I don't know if you noticed, it was resetting it, and now it logged in.
Yes, this is the
So it's
login.
done.
Yeah.
So I will log out manually. So that basically that did. So that is to do everything in same browser. So now I will quickly show you the code later on. So now this example is a data provider test-ng example. This example, let's say your manager asked you to run not everything in the same browser. So this example is to run these two test cases in a separate browser window, but the browser would be Firefox. So let me run this. And this implementation is a data provider, test engine data provider example. So it depends on your need. In your company, your manager is going to let you know uh, what exactly you have to do. So they might ask you to run sequentially in the same browser one after another after logging out, or this example, they might ask you run one after another in separate browser window. So it depends all your needs. So this example was implemented with uh, data provider test-ng, and this will open a new browser after resetting the user ID.
Do you have a results page where the cases are being logged for passes or fails?
Not here. I have that in bigger like a POM implementation example. Uh,
Ah,
the life project that there I have everything. This example is to show you how you organize your code, how you build your framework.
mm-hmm. Okay.
So you see now it opened up a new browser, and this
Yeah.
was again implemented with test-ng data provider, um, and then it will log in a separate browser. And I didn't see all these in your framework. I didn't see all these missing. I saw all these missing. I didn't see all these components there. So that was actually not a good design.
Okay. When you say, what did you see missing exactly?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to explain to you next. So this browser I'm going to so there are two browsers you see opened. So this
Yes,
was for the reset. I'm going to close it.
you ran it simultaneously.
Yeah. So with the data provider, you can do this. With the test engine data provider, you can open up a separate browsers and run your test cases in different browser window like this. Okay. Okay. So
Mm.
clear, right? So
Yeah.
your data is coming from an Excel, and then this is called object repository. You see this file I showed you, the object.properties, and
It,
this is called object repository, where you put your URL and your config information. So you see here this column where you have name. So that is the object type locator, and you are identifying these ones. So let me show you.
Merz,
This is good to
you,
this is good to
you
know.
had 10 test cases here, but I only see two.
No.
Eight
Here I have
passed, two
two.
failed.
Here
I
I
know.
have only two test cases. You can add more if you want. But
No, I know, but where's the other eight?
no,
The
I have
results on the console says total of 10, two failed, eight pass, like
no.
that.
Here I'm just outputting all the results. This is my like logging.
No, I know, but
So we'll,
you, you
yeah.
see you see on the top of the console it says 10 total, 10 tests,
Oh,
eight passed,
this
two
is false.
failed.
I was debugging it. Once we get to the code, I
Okay.
will explain everything. But ignore this. This is my
All
debugging.
right.
Okay, so here I wanted to show you what this column is coming from. So if you come here and if I inspect this user ID, inspect.
And I need to learn how to debug.
So you see here, this is name equals to ID. You see,
Yes. Uh-huh.
so this object type column is the name, and then this is type ID. So this ID is putting here. This is the ID. Clear, right? And then
You okay.
I will inspect the password. See, this password is also identified by name, locator,
ID. Right.
name. We're doing everything by name. User ID
Okay.
we are locating by name. We are not using ID. And
Okay.
the password we are
Name.
also locating by name. That's why you have this column, everything name. We are identifying everything by name here.
By
And in
name.
this file,
Okay.
we are putting password, which is the value of this, which is this. So for some reason, if developers sometimes what they can do, they can change all this. And let's say it has changed from ID, from name to ID, then you don't have to update your code. You go to this file and you instead of that, you change the value here and you change everything to ID here. That's it.
Mm.
How
Okay.
manageable it has become. You
Yeah.
really don't have to worry about all this code that is there.
Gotcha.
So clear, right? So this file I am using for locator, and this is called object repository concept. And
Object
I'm
repository
putting the URL
concept.
here also.
Uh,
So any
so
any
name.
question, any questions so far?
Yeah, name is another type of locator. I haven't used
Yes,
that.
yes.
I've only
So
used XPath so far, and what else you said?
yeah,
XPath
yeah.
and
So let
something
me let me
else.
show you this page. What are the different types of locators? I will
Yes.
I will teach you once you get to them. That's a very good question actually. So
Yeah.
once we start Selenium, these are the different. This is also a very good site, but there are numerous sites like this. So I will show what are the different, and this is also good for interview question. The locators. Let me start locating strategy. See this page. You have to, even though you would use X true path, you would use this true path, even though you will use it
Two
in
paths
your
you
work.
said.
Once
Yeah.
you land a job, you would not need all this. But for interview, I will teach you ID,
Oh,
name, class path, tag name, link text, partial link text, by CSS, XPath. And then for uh, CSS, you need to learn all this. I'll prepare you uh, for interview with all these. So CSS, all these. Tag and ID, tag and class, tag and attribute, tag class attribute, substring matches. I will teach you all these. So you need to know for interview for all these, you need to know, which I have all the code and example ready. And I also figured out you know how to use IntelliJ. But once you land a job, you don't have to do all these. You just use true path and create a X path and then move on. Clear, right?
so it's easier when everybody
Yes.
uses
So
TruePath.
once we start Selenium, we will go through this page. We will do similar to what we are doing for Java. If you know something, we will skip. If you don't know, we will go over that. And I highly recommend you know all these locators, how they work, what are different examples that if you know all these, your conception would be clear. And then this is also good candidate for interview questions.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's come back to this. So this is one way of arranging your data. The second way uh, is a CSV file, which is this. So this is a CSV
CSV
file.
and spreadsheets are same, no?
No, it's not. That's what I'm going to show you next. What makes it a difference?
Yeah.
So actually, I will close this. We don't need this. We learned all about this here. So this is making we are sharing, and at the same time we are opening application. So it has become little slow. If I close this, it will be little faster. So let me close this also. The less application we have open, more better performance. So right click. So I will open in a text pad. I thought this is extremely important that you know this. So you can use all these. It doesn't have to be exact, but once you get the concept and idea clear, you can
Yes.
use some of these components in your existing like project that you emailed me. It's good to have.
Yeah, yeah. There's gonna be some deviations and variations in that project that I emailed you. I there's something new that I've been working on that has several modules under a larger module, and I can email that to you as well. Oh, okay. This is
Sure.
a
Okay. So you see
text
that
pad
once
file.
so the difference is
Wow.
this. CSV means comma separated version. C for comma
Comma separate. Yeah.
is for separated, V for version. So here everything is comma separated. See, but it will
Yes.
same job. Again, the
Mm.
IDs and everything are same. Functionalities are also same, but they are comma separated because this takes less space and this is more manageable. So I will run this code
Mm-hmm.
here. So this is the one that is for CSV text. So this was not actually in here. I wrote it because
Oh,
what
okay.
happened? See what happened. One of my student did not have Excel and he was not able to run the Excel version. So what I did, I
Yeah.
looked at his code and then I
Uh-huh.
rewrote for him as a CSV. I updated. So this function you see here, this first function. So I commented
Yeah.
the Excel. This is commented out. And then I quickly converted to a CSV file. So I wrote a read CSV file. I wrote this function
Yeah.
and then
Yes.
that actually goes there and then it reads this and then I added it here and then I created this one. I commented out the Excel. These are commented out and then I
Mm-hmm.
updated this code to write it from that CSV. So I gave it to him and then he did not require the Excel. He didn't have to buy Excel and spend money. So, and it was also a good learning for me. So I will run this now. And once we learn Selenium and get to this point, I will explain to you all the code and everything. That will take a lot of time. I'm not going to waste time today to deep dive in
Sure.
code. I'm just showing you from high level. I saw your project and I saw all these things missing, and I thought it is my responsibility to let you know what is my recommendation.
Sure. And but we'll get to that part later, right?
Yes,
We'll
yes, of
figure
course.
out what's missing
Absolutely.
and
We will get to everything
yeah.
step by step. Once
Yeah.
you are
Yeah.
clear about the basics, you will have difficulty understanding, code. Like same like Java.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, it is taking a little longer, but it's better we finish. We should be done in next 5 minutes.
Okay. Then we'll move on to Java.
Yeah. So we'll do like a remaining half hour Java. Same thing, it
Yeah.
open up a browser and it will do in the same browser. It will not open a new one.
Re-
I could have
Reset
I
and
could have
then
changed that, but I didn't change that. This is not TestNG data provider, so it is not opening a new browser. This is like a
mm-hmm.
regular TestNG. So now it will log in. But this is coming again not from Excel file. Now this is coming from the CSV.
CSV. Yeah.
And I wrote it. I updated it. This was not in that web page. Same.
Okay.
And you asked
Did
me,
you
you
log out or did your code log you out?
no, I logged out manually. I
Oh,
commented out the logout because it will,
take
if I didn't comment out the logout, it would have gone fast and it would not let you see the bank application, which I wanted to show you also. So I commented out the logout functionality. So I
oh,
manually logged out. Okay. So you asked me, right, how to read Excel data. So this is the portion that read Excel data. And again, it coming from that website. So this code actually read the Excel file. So this code,
mm,
you asked me that day, right? I have Excel code
yeah.
reading functionality. So
How
this
to
method, you see this method,
I
read
need this method
99
now.
Excel file, Guru
Yeah,
99 Excel file. This is reading that rows and column here. So this example, to give your answer, this is the example that I will explain to you once we get to that point, how to read data from Excel.
I have a spreadsheet, Mirza, that I would like to incorporate with that project that I have, and
Right, right. So my
mm,
recommendation, let's
yeah,
finish step by step. Let's finish Java. So we should be done with Java tomorrow, I hope,
sure.
or maybe another
Or
half hour,
maybe,
if anything remaining, depending on how quickly we can go. So you should not, because you already know the basics. You should not take 1.5 hour to finish Java. Then we'll start with Selenium. We'll do the basics. We'll cover Selenium IDE, Selenium WebDriver, then Selenium Grid. We finish all this. Then we will finish the live project bank application. I will try to finish everything by in 5 hours for you because you already know the basics. Then once we are done with all this, we can work on your project and I can help you enhance like what I showed you today to read
Yeah.
the data from Excel, update your project to do
Remember
something
what I
similar to
told
what
you?
we have here. But
Yeah.
to
Remember
accomplish
what I
that,
told?
we need
Yeah.
to, yeah, yeah, go ahead.
It's a mock project, and I didn't write that from scratch. I'm only changing the web elements and locators.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So
I want to practice. That's why I'm trying to write 150, 200 test cases, so I can get the practice in and learn and by
yeah, so
routine and
my
memorize.
my recommendation, um, you should try only like 2 3 test cases first, because writing test cases would not take you very long once you have a framework like this. All it is
Hmm.
all about adding your test cases to your Excel spreadsheet. You if you have a workable example where you have an object repository like this, you have
Hmm.
a Excel or CSV file like this, and you have everything like structured like this. It is all
Yes.
about adding test cases. It really doesn't matter if you have 2 test cases there or you have 200 test cases there, because this is
Hmm.
usable and everything will go in the same path. So my recommendation, try to focus on learning how to make a framework like this. That will help you. Once you know how to do that and you have everything incorporated, like how to put your data in your Excel spreadsheet, how to read data from Excel. Once you have everything incorporated in your project, similar to what I have here, adding a
Yeah.
test case is the last step, because you need to first build your framework, have the framework ready, so it is manageable. And the
The one
adding
I
the
sent
test
you,
cases
I
will be your
built
last
that.
step, right?
The one I sent you, yeah, the one I sent you that you have for Amazon, I built that from scratch, watching the instructor. I
Right.
downloaded all the
Yeah, that
dependencies and
what you
jars.
have. What you have is actually good. But I wanted to show you usually like in professional environment,
Hmm.
what are the different things people have, and that is the example of.
Okay,
Okay, so
gotcha.
that's
All right.
basically I wanted to show you run everything. So I will come back to this page again. So again, they explained here nicely. I messaged you this page. So explained here
Yeah.
nicely. So this is the test case, test case Excel here. This is the Excel reader which I showed you.
Yes.
This is the test case executor, and this is the object repository, which is this. So this is this example object repository, and then this is the object reader, which is here, read object.
Yes.
So this
Uh-huh.
is this is reading this. So see how nicely they, and the last step is the UI operator. We will get to all these, but all I wanted to show you this, how they broken down all the code in different component and how they structure it. And here another thing is, you see, these are organized in different folders, like object repository
Yeah.
under object folder, and then
Yeah.
operation where you read object goes under operation folder, and the Excel reader goes under read Excel, goes under Excel folder, and all your
Hmm.
test cases where these uh, Excel file and all these, see, it comes under the code that reads the CSV file and the Excel that I ran from here, it goes under test case folder. That's one of the other thing you should do when you organize. This is just FYI. You already have like a lot of things I see which I liked, but these are the thing I saw missing. So your what you
Okay.
did is also good, but I wanted to share with you that it's good to have all these also incorporated. And once you finish Selenium, I will help you to update your code and then get to this point. It doesn't have to be exact, but these are the components people use in professional field for a framework to build.
Okay.
Okay, so that's basically everything. You have any other question?
No, we'll
Okay.
come back to this.
Okay. So I'm closing this project now. So you want to stop recording, so you have a separate video on this then.
Oh, all right.
So this video